Hey lovelies, so today I did my eye makeup like this, and if you want to see how I did it, then just keep watching. Okay my lovelies, so it's been a while since I've done a get ready with me. Honestly I've only really ever done a couple of them, but I can show you sort of the products I'm using as I use them. So I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer, that's going to be my base for today's look. And then I'm going to go ahead and finally use my Morphe Icy Fantasy, which I had delivered to London, but then I arrived in lockdown. We've been in lockdown pretty much the full time. It's my roommate's birthday tonight, so I have a good excuse. With this primer, I tend to put enough on my brush for both eyes, and I start down on my lid and start to blend it up, because I know that people use this to like get that perfect line, but you don't want to end up with like a super cakey brow. And I just find that this works really well and still gives me enough of the product below to make sure that I can do a super nice blend and a pop out of the colour. What I do at the edges, you can use a beauty blender. I'm going to just use my finger because the blender has some stuff on it, I've not cleaned it. So that is kind of basics of how I get that to begin with. Obviously when you do some more makeup later, it's going to help to make that look a little bit more natural, because at the moment, even though I'm already quite pale, this looks extremely pale on my lids. I'm not entirely sure, because they don't seem to do other tones, if this would maybe be almost chalky in someone with darker skin. That's the only concern that I would have about this, is that I'm not sure that it translates to different skin tones particularly well. Not that that's something that obviously I need to worry about too much. I'm not a makeup artist by any stretch of the imagination. There we go, that's a nice base then for both of my eyes. I'm going to do the rest of my face after I've done my eyes, because I just tend to prefer that. Obviously I already have a base on. And then this is so pretty. I love this palette. I love the box. I've just not even touched it because it's just perfection. I literally still have the plastic on it. You're going to see as soon as I open it, that tells you all of the shades. So that can come out. But this is what she looks like, just to give you guys a good view. Like, absolutely stunning. And I wanted to do a bit of a mixed look. So I'm thinking there's actually not a super pinky, but I'm thinking this matte purple, this matte pink for up top, going into this for my inner corner. So I guess this, so 1, 2, 3. Maybe not this for the inner corner, maybe one of the whites for the inner corner, or this guy here, which is a really light of this. And then into this, because although it's going to be sort of like a cut crease, but not really, because basically I'm going to do the metallic of the matte just directly underneath and try and blend it out, though I might change my mind about that. I'm going to start with one of the smallest brushes I've got, which is this guy here, just because it's really good for getting like a nice line, and then I'm going to blend it out. I've got literally designed for blending. These are all Morphe brushes as well, so they're actually designed to work with this formula. That's just in terms of how tightly the, what do you call that? It's not fibres, and how tightly the little bits are packed, basically. But yeah, so let's start with my outside and get that just right. Oh, this is a super pastel colour. So pretty. I'm just going to pack a little bit more on. I'm assuming that you guys can see that quite well on camera. Yeah, you can. It is a very, very light shade though. Do you know what, I might do what I used to do, which is just show you it on one eye and then make the other eye match, because I think that might be easier. The thing that's difficult is because I've got my ring light and I don't have my other tripod, is that this isn't in front, like next to my desk, and that's kind of where you would want it to be. So I'm transitioning this now into the pink shade, which is super pretty. Ta-da. This is really easy to work with as well, which is really good. I've not had any issues, like it's not going patchy on me or anything. It's just doing what I'm wanting it to do. Though, is my camera sliding down? It does that sometimes, it's like a quirk. So now into the turquoisey shade. Would you like to see tonight? I've got Ariana Grande in my head. I think that's the one downside for me of getting ready with me videos, is that when I actually do my makeup, I like to have music playing. That is a very, very light shade. I'm going to need to double up on that, haven't I? For a start, let's get you back on that curve. Is that better? I think that's better. It's super soft, which is what I want. Like, I want to feel ultra femme. Which is a funny thing to say, I suppose, as someone whose birth is signed and identifies female. But you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just want to amp up, well, what we see as like female vibes. I think that's so pretty. How random. Right. So it's kind of already gave me like sort of cut creasey kind of vibe anyway. I'm not actually going to be bothering to do like a cut crease on it today, so that's really helpful because it's already got its own kind of line underneath, which is just because of the type of brush that I've used. So for the metallic-y purple shade, it is called, I can get you the name, my little chart, it's called Spellbinding. It's interesting, it's not really a name that I would have associated with this palette because it is a very like soft palette. So I'm just using my blending brush, to be honest, to just go right in. Oh, that is a very light shade. I am going to need to pack that more, so my blending brush is actually not going to be any good for this. I'm going to use the one that I would normally use in the crease, which is this guy right here. And then see how it picks up on that, and if it doesn't work, I might have to use my finger. How's that working for you guys? Is that showing? A little. Okay. There is not quite a shimmery pink. There is a sort of peachy. Maybe I'm gonna do a little layer of the matte, and I'm gonna put the really light shade on top and see how that works. Oh yeah, that's fine. So these are already pretty well blended because pink and purple are almost the same in the palette, you can see. And then there is a nice light one of the turquoisey shade, which I thought was going to do my inner corner, but we've since learned was a lie. This is not sitting really easily on my, I don't know if it's the primer, if it's the palette. But do you see that that's not a particularly strong finish? I'm going to try and just go in with my finger. It doesn't feel super powdery, it's lifted. So that might be to do with the primer, so duly noted. Yeah, that looks much bolder, doesn't it? I'll lift the pink, so the shade that I was using, as you can see, is very pearlescent. So that's why I put down the little base. And then for the purple, again, it's very pearlescent, but you can see it's definitely a purple shade. And pull that out there. Okay, I mean, how do we feel about that? It's pretty. It is pretty. It's much lighter than I thought it was going to be. I think it needs something to lift it. And by that I mean it needs a bit of glitter, doesn't it? Needs something to make it really pop. I'm going to try doing the pink without doing the base on this side to see how much of a difference it actually makes. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. Let's get the matte on top. And then I can put it underneath again if I need to. How's that? pretty but not as bold. That's what I get. I did think that it needed it. I think that's better, isn't it? And then the purple. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. It's very, very, very light. I think I definitely want something to make it stand out more. The two shades that I'm leaning towards to do that are these two right here. This one seems to have more of like a blue almost undertone. Let's have a look at it. Which is really pretty actually. And then this one is more silvery. So what do I want to do? This one almost seems like a bit of a glitter. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this guy and see what it looks like. Do I want to layer it on top or do I want to just do it in my other corner? These are the internal questions. I think I want to try and layer it on top. Just give it a bit of a sparkle. Yes, I love that. Me and my ideas. It is really just as a topper that I've used just to make it look like it's got a bit more sort of going on. I obviously still need to do stuff underneath my eyes as well, but I just want to make sure that I've got the ideas ready. For my inner corner, I actually have a specific brush. I'm going to try and use that with the one that I just showed you a swatch of. It's always wrecks when you've got it in the powder. It always wrecks the look of that little pan, but what you're going to do, the good thing about this is you can really sort of get in deep there without worrying about prodding yourself in the eye. And that is what that has done. You see it's got a kind of little glow. I'm going to try and just do with my finger in this eye and see if I feel like it's better. But I think it's gross. Yeah, I think it probably goes on better with your finger, but like I said, you've got less of a chance of getting it everywhere if you use the brush. So unless you're confident putting your finger close to your eye like that, I would say don't do what I just did, kids. What I'm going to do is take the matte underneath to match up using the same brush I used initially. So starting with my purple, I might actually do like a smoky purple eye. Will I do that? Like connect this? I think that's a good idea. So pull it down and under. It gives it a bit more of a defined shape, which I quite like. Stunning. These colours are so pretty. And then my pink. And my turquoise. And that is what that looks like. I'm obviously going to go ahead and still use like a black eyeliner. I mean, besides the fact that I don't own anything else anyway. It's just a nice way to finish off any look, in my opinion. A little bit of the pink. I feel like I'm painting. That's kind of what I feel like whenever I do my face. And then a little bit of the turquoise. And that is what I've done with my first look with Icy Fantasy. You guys want to watch me do my liner? It doesn't take me very long anyway. So starting in the inside, this is the MAC Brushstroke 24 Hour. Super easy to apply. As soon as I see that, I'm going to muck it up, I already know. I'm going to do the slightly different eyeliner look today. I just mucked this up. Come on now, to the edge. Whoosh. I want to do a little bit here, and then I'm going to do yup, right here. How's that? I went a little too far. I knew I did. Oh, God damn. Okay. Well, I would highly recommend using a cotton bud to fix any errors and not your finger like I just did. But too late, and I can fix it, so I'll worry about that in a second. I'm going to make my eyeliner on my other eye match and do a little bit more of my mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I've taken my lipstick off. I've not put the new stuff on yet. I'm still having a little think, but I'm really happy with this. I think it looks super, super cute, and that was the exact vibe that I was going for today. So I'm gonna do the rest of my face. I don't know how interested you guys are in seeing it, but I'm gonna use some Birchbox stuff, so I guess I can show you some. The cheek and lip tint from MCO Beauty. I've actually been loving this. When I first got it, I was like, I don't need this. And then my friend who has glossy was like, oh, that kind of looks like mine. I'm not using a ton, but you'll see why in just a sec. So I'm gonna pop it on my cheeks. I don't go down to the center of my cheek because it would just make me look like I had a super fat face, not gonna lie. I'm just taking it up and round, kind of like a C, but not going past this part of my brow either. Again, I'm just working it to my own face shape. And you see how it's just adding like a super pretty little flush. And you do want it to be like obviously bolder here than anywhere else, which is why I start there and not above my brow. It does make a difference. But yeah, so it's giving me a super kind of just flushed, pretty, yeah, pretty look. I don't really need to top up my bronze, but the bronze that I will use is the NARS. I'm gonna just pop on a little. Literally just under where I've just put my blush, and it just carves out my cheeks just a little more. The finishing powder that I like to use is called No Filter. It's from MAC. It's not from MAC, it's a dupe of MAC. It's from NYX of Hit Pan. This is actually the wrong shade for me, and I've still managed to hit pan, so imagine what it would look like if it was the one I was supposed to wear. The thing that I love about this is that it will actually hide blemishes. It helps to reduce pores. It just gives me like an airbrush kind of finish. I don't know if you can see that from me putting it on just now. It just makes me, it's like your face but better kind of vibes. And it definitely covers blemishes as well. So it's like a double whammy on top of my concealer and my foundation. This looks super pretty. I'm really, really happy with this. For my highlight, I'm super excited. I'm going to use one I don't use a lot, and it's my Oceana Spectrum Drops. So this, it looks like this in the bottle. It completely separates. I don't know if you can see that because I totally just squeezed it as soon as I took it out. And then you shake it. It's like a little snow globe, and you can see all of the glitter just kind of going round and going everywhere, which is amazing. And I'm going to take it out with my mug that I had my tea in. And you really only need like one drop of this, I'm not going to lie. So I'm squeezing out most of it. Any extra that because I already spilled a little. And I put literally one drop onto my beauty blender. Literally one drop. If you put any more, it immediately starts to dry down, so you kind of want to work kind of quickly. Like, oh no, don't dry on me. Yeah, good girl, it blended. Do you see this? Like, seriously? I went a little too far down, but that's fine because I can use something to buff it out. I do like to go underneath my brow, but I went a little high with my stuff today. I'm going to use another drop for the other cheek, but the reason I don't do it at the same time is just because of how quickly it dries down. So get you one there. You see it's already starting to dry. And get you on my cheeks, and then don't you clump on me. Oh my god. She's just stunning, but that's maybe a little bit more intense than I intended it to be. There we go. It's so friggin' pretty. Really all I want in my life is like pretty glitters. That's it. That's my first step. I just want pretty glitters. I want to put on a little more. I don't think I necessarily need it, but I am very tempted. I am sitting in my house though, so I might hold off, but love this. Absolutely love it. What else have I got to do besides my lips? Is it just my lips? I think it's just my lips, guys. My lips and my outfit. So I have two options in terms of lips. I mean, I have significantly more than two options, but I have two options that I'm actively considering. One of them would be involving the Glittergasm. This is the Incredible in shade I'm a Firecracker, and the other is Naked Rose Pat McGrath Opulust, and I am leaning towards the Opulust because it's easier to manage. It smells like caramel and I'm literally obsessed. How do I feel about the shade? It is a really pretty shade. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and maybe you understand why I love this so much. Can you see how glittery it is? Or not yet? I love it because it gives me so much colour and it's literally just one application. But that is actually deeper than I wanted with these. Am I actually going to take it off? What? I might layer it. Can I do that? I was opening my drawer that I wasn't going to open. Oh, you can't see. Thank God. It's such a mess. I do have lavendering, which is more in keeping. But I'm not entirely sure that I can layer these. But I'm about to find out. How's that doing? Okay, so in answer to my first comment, I can layer them. Yeah, I like that one. Literally. This stuff never fails to amaze me. And now you can just see how glittery it is, because I guess normally I would do two coats. Look at it. Okay, I'm super happy with this. I'm gonna go ahead and choose an outfit, and then I'm gonna show you what my final look is like. Hey guys, so this is what I'm gonna wear. It is just gonna be inside the house, so I don't want to be cold or, yeah, I just want to be comfortable as well. I am wearing a little mini skirt. Show you a little bit. It's like a satiny loose thing. It's really pretty. But yeah, so this is my final look. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously if you liked it, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up. If you've stayed this long, thank you so much. I'd love to hear what you thought. If you've got any palettes that you think are similar, if you've got the same palette and have tried a different look, even if you're trying to just like plug your own YouTube, I don't mind. Like, I'll watch it, I'm not gonna lie. If you want to see more content from me, of course you can subscribe as well. But I hope you have a lovely evening, whatever it is you're doing.